Welcome Matters With. I'm your host, PhillipBrian. Today we're here to discuss Trek Matters with you. 2 episodes. Strange New Worlds. Season 2, Episode 5, Charades. And Season 2, Episode 6, Lost in Translation. First, we start with Charades. I have notes. I'm going to look at them. It's kind of chicken scratch, so even if you were to see them, you wouldn't be able to see them or read them. You could probably see them. If you could see them, you wouldn't be able to read them. Charades is a Chapel and Spock episode, a Spock and Chapel episode. We get a view from Chapel's personal log, or was it personal log or a regular log? We get a view from Chapel's log on her perception. We also get kind of a day in the life of the Chief Science Officer of the Enterprise, Spock. We get to see the meetings he conducts, the routines he goes through, and it's interesting. Watching him get annoyed with Lieutenant Sam Kirk is one of the highlights of the episode, both times it happens. He finds Lieutenant Sam Kirk frustrating, which is interesting considering we know later on that Sam's brother Jim and Spock will become the best of friends and save the universe countless times. But that hasn't happened yet. Chapel's getting ready and applying for a fellowship with the Vulcan Science Academy. Doesn't go well for her, and there's an Easter egg about Dr. Corby, but that's all peripheral. The crux of the story is Spock and Chapel are in a shuttle accident. They are hurt. The aliens on the edge of this rift in space and time repair them and the shuttle. However, when they go to repair Spock and send him back to the Enterprise, he has mixed instructions because he's part human and part Vulcan. So they send him back fully human, and Spock has lost all of his Vulcan self. This creates a comedy episode around his engagement dinner with T'Pring and T'Pring's parents, which is funny at first. Really funny at first. The joke wears a little long. There's a lot of things about this episode that start out really well and drift a bit. Overall, it's very good. But for me, the heart of the episode is watching Spock deal with emotions, not have his Vulcan side, or as we tend to refer, his Vulcan half, but me as the viewer realize for the first time, and I've been watching Star Trek a long time, that Spock isn't half Vulcan and half human. He's fully Vulcan and fully human, and all of that, culturally, genetically, lives inside one person. And it's always the balance, not of this half and that half, but of the two wholes. And that's probably why he's been such an intriguing character for 50 plus years. But that's the episode. That's the crux of the episode, is that journey. The stuff with T'Pring's parents, look, it's good. But the crux of the episode is the Spock and Chapel stuff. I said crux a lot in this. I'm going to try not to say crux anymore. That was the last time, I hope. It's a good episode. Spock's mom makes an appearance, Amanda Grayson. Mia Kirshner, whoa, she's fantastic. She is the third actress to play Spock's mom, with Jane Wyatt, then Winona Ryder, and now Mia Kirshner. But Mia Kirshner, Spock's mom, is fascinating. I really appreciate that we're getting more and more and more of the Spock and Chapel backstory. However, that doesn't mean I always like the decisions they make with the backstory, but that they are filling out that backstory is fabulous. Fantastic and welcome. The nuance we get to see in Ethan Peck's performance as Spock this week, again, fantastic. Spock, for all of his self-control, whether exploring his human side or his Vulcan side, when someone insults or even alludes to an insult toward his mother, we have seen him express dissatisfaction at an intense level multiple times. And it's done well in this episode as well. Charades, the first half of the episode, is a rock solid A. But then it slips, and it slips pretty far. Overall, still a good episode. I'm going to give it a B. If it wasn't for Ethan Peck's performance, once again, I think this has happened before, and Jess Bush as Nurse Chapel, it'd probably be a C. They elevate it. All right, moving on. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 6, Lost in Translation. This is an Uhura episode. However, Uhura gets a significant amount of sidekick help with the first officer of the Farragut. One James T. Kirk is visiting the Enterprise and his brother Sam. Cool thing about this episode, we get to hear Jim Kirk express that he finds Sam Kirk frustrating. Actually, we hear Spock say that, and Jim agree with it. It's a fun moment at the end of the episode. But it has nothing to do with the main plot of the episode. The main plot of the episode is Uhura's hearing and seeing things. Well, they have discovered new life. Celia Rose Gooding as Uhura is great. The chemistry between her and Jim Kirk is really good. The stuff between Jim Kirk and Sam Kirk, between Jim Kirk and Sam Kirk is fantastic. Fantastic. We even get to hear them talk about their dad, George Kirk. I really appreciate that they are developing the relationship between Sam Kirk and Jim Kirk, because in the original series, we heard Sam Kirk mentioned, George Samuel Kirk, but we only saw him one time. And spoiler alert, it was when he passed away and Jim was having to deal with the death of his brother. I like that we're getting more here. Again, we may not agree with every way they're filling out the stories that we heard alluded to in the original series, but I really like that they are, and I like the way they're doing it with Jim and Sam Kirk. Because that Kelvin movie I mentioned, as much as I love it, I dislike that they edited and wrote Sam Kirk right out of it. We see him, but they dubbed over his name to make him sound like some random kid from school or neighborhood instead of Jim Kirk's older brother. Uhura, with the help of Jim Kirk and Sam Kirk, discovers a new life, saves the day, saves the Enterprise, saves the new life form. It's a good episode. The main plot point is convoluted, but the side stories are very good. The performances are very good. Celia Rose Gooding is dynamic. Paul Wesley is good as Jim Kirk. And the gentleman who played Sam Kirk, his name is eluding me. I know his name. I follow him on Instagram. We've interacted on Instagram. Now this is embarrassing. Sam Kirk, Strange New Worlds.
Hey there, everybody, this is Ray Carcel for Walmart Game Center, and I have the distinct pleasure now talking with Dan Jeannotte.
Dan Jeannotte was great as Sam Kirk. Paul Wesley was great as Jim Kirk. Dan Jeannotte was great as Sam Kirk. Celia Rose Gooding was fantastic as Uhura. This episode gets a B+. I really liked it. Let me know what you thought of Episode 5, Charades, and Episode 6, Lost in Translation. We'll talk soon.